Shiki. I just finished it like just last week, and I have to say I really enjoyed it overall. Granted, I enjoyed most anime, but I think it was a very effective tragedy. That's basically what I enjoyed about it. It was just so much going on. It had lots of different characters, and it didn't feel like it was just sad life story after sad life story. Like there was this other anime. I haven't seen it yet, but I'm reading the manga right now. I think it's called Bakurono. It's basically about 14 children who are piloting a robot to save the universe, and each time they pilot the robot, one of them dies. So, but I mean that was a really awful. At least I didn't enjoy the manga very much. I'm like stuck on the last 11 chapters. I still have to read them. So I mean, it was just like, what was it? One of them was just like, all right, and one of them is the daughter of a prostitute, and the kids make fun of her at school. And it's just like, whoa, didn't see that one coming. And then like another one is like a pressured athlete who feels pressured by their parents to do well at sports and things like that. And it's just like, ooh. And it's just like a lot of them like were just really awful. Like what was it? Their parent is mean and cruel to people, so they're cruel and mean to people. And it's just like just piling on these kind of cliche sort of sad life stories. And then it got pretty well when it stopped focusing on the children so much and started focusing on what they do. Like that's when it kind of picked up for me. But sadly at that point too, it was almost as if in the beginning each child got their own chapter, and then they started like stretching it out. Like I think the last 11 chapters are really about only two kids. So I mean, you kind of get the idea of that then. Anyway, back to Shiki. So what I enjoyed about Shiki was they didn't just pile on problems to make people so pathetically sad. I really liked the first girl who dies, Megumi. She was, what was it? She's basically kind of an archetype of a person who lives in the suburbs and she wants to live in the big city and more metropolis and, have a fashionable life and all those things. And I really kind of bonded with that in a sense, even though I kind of like living in the suburbs. But, I saw what, she aspired to be, and I liked that. I liked her character in that sense. And she was basically hoping that, when she does become a vampire, that the new Shiki can offer that to her. So I mean, overall, I like the kind of, the flow. They kind of concentrate on multiple characters, which kind of it was easy to see. I was glad they were very visual about it. But sometimes, like when the character wasn't on screen, they were like somewhere else. They would say, like, "And Pan's in trouble," and I'm like, "Alright, who's Pan again?" Because at times they would have like 6 storylines going on at once, and a lot of times they will like. It happens over the course of I believe August to November, I think. So like and they go back a lot. So the storylines tend to merge, and it's like basically one plot line will happen from August 16th to August 20th, and then one plot line that will be from August 18th to November 10th or something like that. So I mean they kind of overlap a lot, and it gets confusing, especially when they're jumping around a bit and you're not really like able to keep track of these things. But it actually flows a lot better than I'm making it sound. Like you'll never really be that lost because usually they make reference to not a character but an action that happened. Like I was gonna say like, oh, so and so died, but no, that would be disproving my argument. No, it would be more like, oh, the fire burnt down this elementary school or something like that. That doesn't happen in the anime, but there's something similar to that. Anyway, so that was like very interesting to me, and I liked it a lot just because it really treated you as more like you were paying attention, and I like that. I like that in anime when they actually like treat you as though you're an adult who pays attention and not just here's a 20-minute fight scene where it's just them throwing magic beams at each other. I really hate that a lot, but I put up with it sometimes. Anyway, so yeah, but here's one of my main problems with the anime. Like, I remember when it ended, I felt an emptiness inside, which I do for most anime, because it's like, that's what I like about it, is it's so short, even though it's like only like 24 episodes, I think. And two of them are like OVAs, so they're not really necessarily plot integral, although one of them was, in my opinion. So, anyway, so basically the ending is mostly everyone dies, not really, kind of. Although there is a hint in the first opening of who dies and who doesn't. So anyway, like, so the ending is, this one bad guy or antagonist gets away, and they get away with another, minor antagonist. And, like, there's the protagonist, and they never actually confront each other. Like, they're even like the what was it? I guess you could say the new second-hand man, the antagonist, is kind of former friends with the protagonist, and after the protagonist and the second-hand antagonist go away, they never see each other again, and or at least they never confront each other again. And it was just kind of weird because one of them was like, we should kill all vampires, and the other one was like, no, we should be their friends. And it was just like, they need to like talk that out, because otherwise it's just these two kind of clouds that you don't really ever see touch or something like that. And it was really diffusing for me because, like, what was it? The Megumi character, she has a crush on one of her neighbors or one of her fellow school children, and I really liked it because it's like, all right, yeah, we all like know someone who we like, and we'll never ever get the chance to talk to them and things like that. But like, she never does get the chance to talk to him. She wanted to turn into a vampire, didn't get that chance, and she wanted to, talk to him still, and she just never gets the chance to even talk to him. And that was like, that is a way you can have tragedy, is by having characters who maybe belong to each other, but yet never actually meet necessarily. But that was like the problem, was like, these people are just sad because of who they never got to say how they actually feel. And that's probably putting in like or that's reading a bit too much into it. But like, that was like really why you feel sad for Megumi or whatever. And like, that's kind of what bothered me. It was just like, alright, I'm sad she didn't get to go to the city, and I'm sad she never got to talk to her school friend. But it was like, they needed to have that because it never happens with any of them. Like, there's this other woman who killed her family over, and she never gets to like meet or talk to them and things like that. And don't worry, don't think I'm spoiling anything because there's plenty of things I'm leaving out. But I mean, like, it was just kind of sort of like hollow in the sense of the tragedy word. Like, it's just like these people are sad because they died. They're not sad because of things they did or things they didn't get to do. Because if there's never a resolution necessarily in their problems, then why should we necessarily care? Like, we can feel sympathy and empathy for them, be sad about that. But overall, it's like, alright, there's plenty of old people who are dying alone in the world, and yet we don't feel sad about them. Probably because they're not in our face. But I mean, that's my point, is, we shouldn't feel sad for meaningless, sad stories. Because we don't. There's lots of people dying right now who really shouldn't be, but they are anyway, and we don't really care. So that was really kind of my problem with the anime. There's not what they can do to fix it. But I enjoyed it overall, and I strongly recommend it. It's really enjoyable and things like that, and my only real other problem would be probably like they made the vampires too sympathetic, which was kind of the point. But it was just like, it kind of didn't go anywhere like you wanted it to, in my opinion. Like, it goes somewhere when the vampires lament the things they never got to do, but it doesn't go anywhere in terms of the story and plot and things like that. But one thing I did like about it was there is this one scene over where this character shoots a vampire, and I'm like, why did they do that? Because they were on the sides of the vampires. And then like, during that scene, pay attention to those bites on his arm or whatever, and think about who the last person you saw him with was. So yeah, it'll make a lot more sense, because like when I saw that, I was like, wait, why did he do that? I thought he was on the same side. I think there was even a picture of them together. And then you're like, oh, that makes sense. So yeah, and that's pretty much Shiki. I enjoyed it. I hope you watch it, and I hope you enjoy it.